This text appears on the screen. Meet me at the Lonely Pines Lakeside Resort. F. Boat. Are you serious right now? Oh my god. That was the secret code that I just ran through like laps in freaking everything to get. Just that one line of stuff? Okay. Lonely Pines Lakeside Resort, Lake Waccamaw, Columbus County, North Carolina. Seriously, who goes through that much security just to say, meet me at place and place? It's just terrible. Welcome to the Lonely Pines Lakeside Resort. How may I be of assistance to you? We're here to see Franklin Boat. Ah, wonderful. Mr. Boat has been expecting you. He is in the cigar room. The door on the left will lead you there. When he says expecting me, I'm pretty sure he meant that since it was meant for someone else, and this guy thinks I'm that someone else. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Ma'am, that's the billiards room. Mr. Boat awaits you in the cigar room. Jacuzzi and spa room? Oh my god, this place is amazing. Huh. He looks pretty normal, actually. Classes Mercedes-Benz maintenance. Equestrian lifestyle. The art of golf. Who doesn't like the art of golf? A yacht and a gentleman. Actually, did you know that golf is just a grown man's version of fetch with yourself? Because you hit the ball and then you go and fetch it. Then you drive fancy carts, so yeah, you know? Ah, Detective Fitzgerald, Colonel Davis, you're right on time. Right on time? You were expecting us? Of course. Actually, I was expecting you a lot sooner, but oh well. Do you know what we're here for? Yes, you're here to interrogate me, then arrest me. Wait, how do you know that? Detective, Colonel, please have a seat and I'll explain everything. This is highly irregular. Lee? He's unarmed and doesn't seem to be trying to escape. Escape? Why would I? It's been so much effort getting you here. Getting us here? Yes, I had to leave quite the trail of breadcrumbs just so you could investigate the matter and see everything for what it is, and eventually make your way to me. I know from what it looks like, I'm the big bad villain of the story, but perhaps you could listen for a while. You may realize it's not all black and white. Villains really start as villains, Miss Fitzgerald. More often than not, they start out thinking that what they do is somehow improving the world, then along the way, bad decisions are made with the best of intentions, but often with the worst logic behind them. I kind of butchered that, didn't I? I realized one day that I was no longer the hero of the story. I realized that what was being done wasn't improving the world. Get to the point, Bolt. You see, it all started in the early 2000s. At the time, I was a young investment banker in Wall Street making my first millions, and my younger brother had just finished college. I insisted he join me in New York, as I wanted to take him under my wing and teach him how to make money. Initially, he seemed interested, and then the Twin Towers were destroyed in 9/11, and all my brother could talk about was joining up and bringing the war to them. He joined the US Army and was commissioned as a lieutenant. When the US declared war on Iraq, my brother's unit was one of the first to go into action, the 3rd Ranger Battalion. Wait, that's my unit. Boat. Is it all coming back to you, Colonel Davis? Your brother was Lieutenant Logan Boat. So you know how the story goes then. Yes. It was 2004, right after Iraqi insurgents killed those contractors in Fallujah. Lieutenant Boat was second in command of a small platoon on a recon mission. His unit was spotted and ambushed, but they fought hard and were able to break through the ambush and escape through a narrow back street. Once the surviving platoon members made it past the back street, Lieutenant Boat noticed that the insurgents were hot on their trail. He stayed back and took advantage of the bottleneck in the street to hold off the insurgents. He successfully bought enough time for his platoon to escape, but paid the ultimate price. Your brother was truly a hero. I'm sorry I couldn't make the funeral. I know. You were the one that signed his letter of condolence. Anyway, as you can imagine, the news devastated me. Here I was, a successful businessman, in the toughest city in the world, making it big, and I thought I was untouchable. Then this happened, and it destroyed me. I flew to Wichita Falls to pick up my brother's body, and whom do I meet there? A young biochemist by the name of Lars Conway, whose brother served in the same unit as mine, and also shared in the same tragic fate. He spoke bitterly about how the US government was choosing not to invest in his research and how if he had had things his way, this tragedy wouldn't have happened. Conway was the belief that his research in biochemistry could lead to genetically enhanced super soldiers that could serve as the bulk of the infantry for the more grueling missions. He believed that the government was all too happy to sacrifice the lives of its young soldiers to serve their own needs. Swayed by the tragedy of my brother's passing, and by the fire in Conway's eyes, I was convinced to set up our own private corporation that would research a way to make these super soldiers so that no one else would have to know the grief that we knew. We created a pharmaceutical corporation, and Conway agreed to develop money-making pharmaceuticals to help generate income for the company. In turn, I would helm the company to success and would divert 30% of all revenue towards his research projects. It all started out rather well, and for the first 3 years, we made a lot of money, and Conway was making leaps and bounds in his research. Then the financial crisis hit in 2008, and the company began losing money. Anyway, with the company in such dire straits, we had to look into selling shares to other corporations to stay alive. Unfortunately, we had no serious bids, and it looked like we were going to file for bankruptcy. Then Conway found an investor out of nowhere, a certain Matteo Spinola, the head of the Spinola family. Exactly. So I took it as a sign to leave, and I sold all my shares to Matteo Spinola and resigned as CEO of Bolt Pharmaceuticals. But it doesn't end there, does it? If only it did. A year after operating under Spinola control, the company is yet again on the verge of bankruptcy, and I get a call from Conway pleading that I return as CEO to bring the company back and in turn keep his research alive. So I went back. Why? You must remember that I created this company and ran it for 5 years. I knew a lot of the people that worked for me, and in this economic climate, they would be hard-pressed to find other work. So I went back, but when I returned, I saw that the corporation had changed. Matteo Spinola has approved a certain type of research program that I had vehemently opposed during my tenure as CEO, and Conway was all too glad to cooperate. Initially, I wanted to blow the whistle, and I teamed up with one of Spinola's hedge fund managers to blow the lid off the entire operation. Connor Fryman. Unfortunately, Spinola's men got to him and killed him. I realized that Matteo Spinola was too powerful and knew too many influential people, and that no one would believe my claims about him. After all, why would I destroy the very company I birthed? Everyone would be convinced I was a fool and a madman. No one would believe me. I had to get a detective untainted by his tentacles of corruption, and so I made a call to the High Commissioner and had him pass the case down to you guys. So were you involved with the disappearance of the college kids? No. Spinola and Conway are behind that too. They needed young and healthy test subjects to test the new serum on. Those college students were the lab rats. Conway knew Rebecca Olsen and her boyfriend used recreational drugs, so he swapped their supply with samples of his new serum that made him to look like the drugs they were taking. Made it look like it was the drugs that they were taking. Got it. He knew she would share her drugs with her sorority and was observing at the time. When the drugs had their adverse effect, he went in, using a copy of her key that he had, and planted evidence to make it look like a murder. Why wouldn't he target a group of football players instead? Wouldn't they be more similar to soldiers in terms of physical type? The serum works very poorly in conjunction with performance-enhancing drugs. Conway needed cleaner and healthier subjects, and since those girls were doing modeling work, he assumed that they generally ate healthier and exercised regularly. Look, you don't seem like a bad guy, but I can't help but suspect your motives for revealing you all this. Also, if you were trying to feed us information, then explain the men in the hazmat suits that were intended to kill Detective Fitzgerald and Agent Valdez. Spinola's men. Ever since the immoral experimentation program began, Matteo Spinola placed armed guards on all the research laboratories. When I saw Detective Fitzgerald and Agent Valdez leave my company's HQ, I sent a false order to the guards to remove them for the night. Unfortunately, I didn't think they'd take so long in there, and didn't account for the new morning guards. Wait, you saw us leave and come in? Didn't you wonder why no one stopped you? Besides, who do you think conveniently sent those letters to Conway, knowing he was out on a speaking tour? I see. Take this flash drive. Inside are all the document cases for all the illegal experiments that Conway has been running. There are videos, photos, the whole stinking lot. With all this, you'll be able to put Spinola and Conway behind bars and shut down both pharmaceutical once and for all. What's in it for you? You're being very generous with all this information. I'm suspicious as to why you're so keen to betray your friend Conway. Yes, Conway and I were once friends, but I now see him for the monster he truly is. The fact that he would stoop to dealing with the likes of Spinola disgusts me. Colonel, a man reaches a point when he can no longer lie to himself, when he knows that he cannot tolerate the injustice he sees in his very eyes. That moment has come to me. If my brother were alive today, he would agree on this course of action. Terribly sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Bolt, but Inspector Walsingham has arrived. Just in time. Let him in. Certainly, sir. And who is this guy? Looks like I arrived just in time. Phil, what are you doing here? Phil? I thought you were Inspector Mark Walsingham of MI6. Ha ha, so I wasn't wrong. His name was Phil, but it's actually Mark. What? Sarah, I will explain everything in due time, but for now, we have to get out of here. What are you talking about? Mr. Bolt, my contact in Munich has just informed me that he and his men have successfully arrested Professor Lars Conway as he was giving a talk at the Ludwig Maximilian University of Munich. Thank God, this madness will finally come to an end. Unfortunately, Matteo Spinola has caught wind of our plans and is sending men over to kill you as we speak. We must leave now. Okay then. Ferguson, ready my car. Ashley, we can't leave from the front. Spinola's men will be coming in through there. There's a rear exit into the lakeside area right behind me. Excellent, let's go. We'll be sitting ducks in such an open area. I say we dig in and fight from here. That won't be necessary. I stationed 2 of my people outside. We'll be covered. 2 men? Is that it? Are you nuts? Spinola is gonna send at least 20 here to kill me. Please, don't underestimate my people. They will have no problems making mincemeat out of Spinola's thugs. Besides, they brought along their big toys. I'll go outside and help your men fight them off. Thank you very much, Colonel. I know with your special abilities, 20 men hardly constitutes a challenge. For that reason, I would prefer to have you with us in case we encounter an unpleasant surprise. Unpleasant surprise, huh? I sure do love how you British people love to understate things. Come on, let's go. Freaking Sarah. She's way too eager. Way too eager for life. Wow, look at this party. It's huge. Wait a second. I'm Mark, or Phil. I'm gonna call him Phil just because I met him as Phil. I'm Phil. I'm not Sarah anymore. I'm Phil. Isn't this fantastic? Anyways, what I want to say? Oh yeah, special ability. That does explain why he was able to punch the creature 2 to 3 feet away. I mean, I know it's not that far, but still. It was kind of funny, because like, if you're pinned down by the monster and then you manage to get him, punch him off you, that's a pretty fancy feat. Okay, we're far enough. Just keep your eyes peeled. My squad should be around soon. Okay, Phil, or Mark, or whatever your real name is, you have some explaining to do. The cliche. Look, Sarah, I know this all looks really bad, but just know that I had no choice. Also, you weren't supposed to be here. There were confusion as my FBI liaison was killed and his goofy associate took things into his own hands. What? You were working with Agent West this whole time? Also, don't talk about Valdez that way. Sorry, Sarah. It's just all gone so crazy. Look, all you need to know for now is that my real name is Mark Walsingham, and that I'm MI6. British Intelligence. Yes, we've been following this case for a while, and when all this came up, we had to act quickly. I flew to Silver Creek Falls under the guise of a transferred Scotland Yard inspector to take a look at things before coordinating with the FBI and assembling my team. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Sarah. I just had to be very careful and couldn't risk being discovered. I'm happy to see that you're okay. Pardon my French, but what in the hell are you Brits doing here? How does this involve you? I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to discuss that, as I suspected. What's gonna happen to Franklin Boat? I'll be taking him into custody. We need him to testify against Spinola and Conway, among other things. Like what? Again, I'm not at liberty to discuss this. Well, guess what? I'm taking him into custody. He's related to the crimes of Silver Creek Falls. He's mine. I have more jurisdiction here than you do. I'm sorry, Sarah. This really should have never come to this. Ferguson? Ferguson, what's the meaning of this? Terribly sorry, sir. It's been a pleasure serving you, but my loyalty is first and foremost to my queen. What the hell's going on? Stand down, Fitzgerald. It's not worth it. Damn. When Markville has to do his thing, he does his thing. I see you started the party without me. Just in time, Sam. Did you two wrap everything up? It was easy. After we finished killing them, we threw their bodies into the resort and set it on fire. Good job. All good here. Any trouble? Not at all. Ferguson, please escort Mr. Boat into the car. Right away, Captain. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I do hope to be able to explain everything to you one day. Okay. Hopefully we're still friends. Damn it. Come on, Lee. Let's get back to the car and pursue them. Let's leave it here, Sarah. What? I can't believe you. I'm gonna head back to Berry Sky. I'd appreciate some help, but if you'd like to go and pursue them, it's fine. I don't understand. Why didn't you do anything? I'm sick and tired of death and killing. Also, we were not in control of that situation. We were outmanned and outgunned. I guess. I'm going now. Have a safe trip back to Virginia, Detective. Lee, wait! I'll help you, Berry Sky. And I disappeared. Sarah Fitzgerald apartment, Norfolk, Virginia. Damn, that's one huge truck. Damn! Thanks for driving me home. You okay? Not really. The whole thing left a really bad taste in my mouth. I know. I feel the same way. Thank you for helping me, Berry Sky, and I appreciate the kind words you said for her. Don't worry about it. You're a rare gem, Sarah. Your conviction to justice and truth makes you a truly incredible detective and police officer. You're just trying to make me feel better. You know, I don't mince my words. Thanks, then. I just wish I could have gone deeper and done more. Diving into the murky waters of the criminal world is not something one does casually. You never come out truly clean, and you really lose a piece of yourself as you enter. The deeper you go in, the more sullied things get, and before you know it, you are swimming in a pool of dirt, brass, and blood, all in the name of justice. But to uncover the truth, isn't all this sacrifice a price? But is it worth it? Look how many have perished in the pursuit of truth, and at the end, how much did we achieve? At the end, we were not but puppets at another man's bigger game. Mark. When in his machination and plans, I doubt we were more than pawns with bigger players like the High Commissioner and Franklin Bolt playing as the Rook and Bishop. It's all a bit depressing, isn't it? My apologies. I didn't mean to discourage you. Also, fight for truth and justice, no matter what level of the law you are in. All I mean to say is that rising the ranks in law enforcement comes at a high personal cost. I see. You had a lot of experience. Army, police. It's different but similar in so many ways. Here I thought I'd live out a peaceful life in such a small town, but I guess I was wrong. Panama, Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq, now this. I'm so tired of it all. So what's next for you? I think I'll go travel around the country. It's about time I see more of this beautiful country that so many of my compatriots died for. For your own safety, I'll keep my exact travel plans to myself. I can get behind that, thanks. How about you? I'll take tomorrow off and head back into work the next day. Keep doing my bit to keep this country safe. Maybe I'll hear from Mark one day. He did promise to explain everything to me one day. I wouldn't hold my breath for that. I'll get going now. Wait, what did Mark mean by special abilities? I'll do you a big favor by not telling you. Goodbye, Detective Fitzgerald. Goodbye, Colonel Davis. No, I do want to know about your special abilities. Please? I think Lee is waiting for me to get back inside my door. Oh, you didn't have to tell me that. I pretty much assumed it as much. What? What? No! You can't say that's the end. I don't believe it. You're gonna have an after credits things like before. Oh my god, it is the end. Seriously? It's the type of game that makes you wonder in the end. Oh, that's not cool. What is Lee Davis' special powers? What What's the chant? Oh my god. The Espers. I hit my laptop by accident, sorry. The Espers, the freaking Spinolas, the bio creatures. I mean, oh my god. What did I understand from this game? Okay, so basically, I'm gonna try and piece this together from what we probably all understood, and that is that there's bio creatures. Okay, so Boatsman worked with Conway, and they wanted to create a bio mutant because they wanted to use it in the military, I'm guessing? Oh, no. Boatsman didn't want this to happen, but Conway wanted it to happen. He wanted to create those creatures, and he wanted to create it with the Spinolas. The Spinolas funded them. And, Okay, now I get it. I get it now. Alright, hear me out. Initially, Boatsman and Conway worked together, but they needed more money for research, and they got the Spinolas to fund for them. However, Boatsman couldn't really fund it. Stay tuned for more! What could that possibly mean? Is there a chapter 4? They said 3 was the final one. What is this? The Beaumont Tulsa, Oklahoma. Meet up with Agent Kamarova. I knew they wouldn't just leave us in the dark like that. They're nice people. I know these guys. Of course. Now, hello. Kamarova? Hosen. Where is Valdez? He's in the bathroom. We'll be back in a second. We can start without him. Professor Chan, I hope your flight was comfortable. It was fine. Thank you for flying me in business class. It's not a problem. Do you have Conway's files? Of course. Here you go. Thank you, Winston. You did the right thing. Okasana, what will Moscow think of what you're doing? Don't understand. It's for the greater good. Hans, will Mark be okay with this? He'll understand. I know he will. We need to prepare for the invasion. Yes, we'll need every trick under our sleeves to protect us against them. Thumb. Boat action ending. Achievement unlocked. What? What? So, were those the bad guys or the good guys? I don't know. Jeepers. Okay. I'm so lost now. I don't know, someone help me explain this. Was this ending portion the bad guys or the good guys? Because they mentioned Mark, they mentioned Valdez, so I don't know if Valdez was secretly working for the bad guys this whole time, or were they saying that Valdez was actually working for Phil or / Mark? I think it's the second one. It makes more sense if it's the second one. But then again, Valdez is close in family with the Spinolas, or close in a relationship with the Spinolas. So wouldn't that mean that Valdez is somewhat evil? I don't know. I really don't know. God. When you think about this, like, tree, this web of everything, it's like so many. Is it like this? Is it like that? Oh man, I can't believe chapter 3 ended like this. Oh well, I mean, it did explain everything that we wanted to know, but it left us guessing for what's next. I looked into it, and they said that there's no chapter 4, and that chapter 3 was the finale. But who knows, maybe they might change their mind, though I don't think so. I think this is the end. I think they wanted it to end such that at times you have to go through life with not knowing the end results, and that you have to be okay with what you got, and such that at one point you have nothing in your powers to do anything. You just have to accept it the way it is, and I guess hope for the best, or just leave things be. So yeah, I think that's Silver Creek Falls, you guys. Overall, I did enjoy it. I understood what they were going for, and it does make sense to me. So I mean, I would have loved to learn more. Of course I would have, and I bet everyone would have, but their intentions were what I mentioned, so we just gotta accept it the way that it is. Alright, so overall, Silver Creek Falls, great game, very, very story rich, and if you guys are gonna read this out loud, be sure to have a bottle of water by your side. Seriously guys, you'll need it. Anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed. This is TheOdie, and I'll see y'all later. Till then guys, ciao! Great doll houses. I hate doll